throw this up here. I look super crazy operator right now with, you can see the mic and everything. If someone were to drive up, they'd be like, this dude is nuts. Thanksgiving weekend 2016, going out to test some Subsonic 223 rounds using 700X and 55 grain extreme bullets, full metal jacket. It's not a published load, so I'm not going to put it out. There are some published loads using tight group and clays on the internet, you know, that are official load data, but I did have tight group, but I didn't want to use it for this, so hopefully I don't blow my stuff up, otherwise that'll be funny last words. But I looked at the burn rate for 700X and it was somewhere in between, clays and tight group, so I figure that it should work. We'll see. I mean, it looked like it had some inconsistencies, especially ignition, you know, the primer thing. I was trying to do as much research as I could. I did use a little bit higher than published or, you know, recommended load for either clays or tight group. My logic behind that was that first of all, I'm using a 10.5 inch AR pistol, so I figured, okay, well, I'm gonna probably have a lot of reduced velocity there anyway, and I don't want to get, and I was reading about some inconsistency with getting bullets lodged in the barrel. I did bring a cleaning rod just in case that happens, but I forgot a hammer. So I have a crescent wrench. Hopefully I'll be able to beat them out. It could just be a game ender if that happens. My real goal today is just to get chronographic data. You'll see my setup. It looks like a pretty decent day. We got a little bit of snow last night. Nothing too crazy, but it was a little bit muddy coming out here, but as you can see, it's not too bad. Just typical rocky Nevada. So that's gonna be my test. I came up with some testing procedures. I'm gonna let you guys be first person with me on it, so if it blows up, you'll be able to experience that. Hopefully that's not gonna happen. We'll see. It looks, hoping it's a safe load. I mean, this is the first time I've ever loaded Subsonic using, you know, cotton to pack the rounds, so I don't want to, you know, I mean, this isn't something I'm super familiar with. So let's start with the atmospherics. So we are sitting at 5473, 5450. Density altitude is dropping, temperature is dropping 37. Since when I filmed, it was 40 then. Pressure is 2456. Humidity is 49. Real altitude staying the same, 56, 60, somewhere in there. Dew point 19.8. Frost 36.5. And high 35 for temperature. That date's wrong. All right, well, I don't know how the wind is going to work here with this mic. Hopefully, you know, I'll do a couple takes, but I just wanted to show the setup. So real close target just to make sure I'm not tumbling, and then to chrono. I'm just going to chrono right over the Pro Chrono here. Get that on. Atom Arms 10.5 inch piston system. I have it set to no gas. Here are the rounds, 55 grain extreme, Federal once fired brass. I'm just going to load one at a time here, and we'll see how it goes. Let's see if we get a loud click. There's one. All right. Get some sights. All right, here we go. All right, 1152. Looks like we had a good hit. 1152 is probably pretty close to where we need to be. Those were super quiet, like no recoil. Brass looks good. All right, let's try another one. It's getting chilly. Keep these in my pocket. All right, here we go. Really interesting, 1134, which is awesome. brass looks good. I'm assuming that should be, I didn't look to see exactly where the sound barrier was today, but I'm assuming that that's good. Well, that's really actually pretty exciting. So 1134 on that one. Let's do one more. Group is good at 10 yards. All right. Oh, probably, hopefully not scrunching you guys too much here. 1078. So a little bit of a spread there. Let's do the brass again. Looks good. Yeah, so 1078 on the last one. Let's put this on safe. Looks good so far. Yeah, making sure to get Chroney readings. So here are the 3 shots. I believe so, right? I'm going to check the barrel just to double check, but yeah, 2 of them might be touching in there. I'm not exactly sure where the 3rd is. I can distinctly see 2, but yeah, so they don't look like they're tumbling, which is good. So that's a good sign. So we'll take hearing protection off. Okay, so testing went good. So I hooked up the Omega. We're going to find out here pretty quickly if it's subsonic because I'm not wearing hearing protection. Let's do one at a time again. I'm trying to keep them warm, so I'm keeping the magazine in my body. But yeah, let's see how this goes. Wasn't super quiet, but it wasn't loud. 1122, so look down the barrel before I put on the Omega. There was cotton, so I might have used too much cotton. Not sure on that. All right, I'm gonna aim a little bit higher just to make sure that I'm seeing these shots because they all seem to be going into the exact same spot. So let's check that out. All right, get the mic out of here. All right, so I'm gonna aim at the top this time. Which put me about in the center. It's 1118. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's definitely something. I'll have to run the numbers, but yeah, 1118. I thought that Subsonic was like 1150, so I'm not exactly sure. Let's go again. We'll run the rest of these. I think we're pretty safe at this point to not have a magazine detonation, so I'll just run them. So let's give this one a whirl. We'll go back up to the top. .1155. All right, so it was 5 yards. Nothing spectacular. I was just aiming center. The bullets were actually hitting way down here at 5 yards, but I think I'm zeroed at like 20 some yards with this gun, so that's no surprise. But they're clustering great, so accuracy was really good at 5 yards. So I moved up my point aim to here, and then kind of varied it so that way, you know, I was really worried that I would get a stuck bullet. So that's 4, and then that's 4. So yeah, didn't want to have a stuck bullet, so I made sure that I was watching where they hit. Let's go over to the Chrono. Say hi to the truck. Oh, look at this beautiful freezing Nevada day. All right, so the Chrono shot 8 times. Like I said, we got a high of 1155, low of 1078, and an average of 1125. So I'm going to check that with the atmospherics to see if see if there's an issue with what am I trying to say? Oh, the sound barrier, because I can't really tell. I mean, it wasn't loud at all, obviously, but it may have been supersonic, so I'll have to check that. So yeah, just wanted to record with the phone. Now I'm facing directly out of the wind, so hopefully we can hear this fine, just to get an idea of, how those velocities were looking. I'm also going to run a real quick with my 69 grain load that I have out of the 10.5 with the silencer, just to see how they function. Probably shoot like 5 and see how loud they are. All right, so these are 69 grain
I put the gas system back on suppressed, so we'll see how these run. Obviously really close to the chrono, but just to make sure we have a good shot for you guys. But yeah, let's see the difference between the loudness here. Yeah, 2419. $24.28, $24.92, $25.15. Bolt did hold open, which is nice. The ejection pattern's all right here, so that's a good 2 o'clock, which might mean it's a little over gassed or whatever. I don't know, it could just be the way it's extracting. I mean, it seems to be working all right. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I like the definitely louder than those other rounds, so we'll have to see where the subsonic point is. But yeah, I just wanted to do a quick test of those 69s. Seem to be running good. So yeah, good times.
All right, so I'm gonna just want to show the pistol. Can't really see with the reflection there. Hopefully y'all can see that. But anyway, come back over to look at our shooting here. All right, so 5 shots. Oops. So high, 25.15, low, 24.19. Quite a spread there. Average, 24.58. So other than that, huge spread there. I called out most of the shots, so hopefully that was an anomaly. Okay, so I checked on the way back, just now pulled out of the shooting area. I found a single website that really quickly indicated that temperature, not all the other stuff that I was reading that was totally nonsensical, is all that really matters with speed of sound. I guess it's a air density thing. I guess that makes sense. So this one website that I found basically said that the speed of sound here was probably like 1080. Now I can't remember. It was like 1090. Definitely below in feet per second what I was getting, because I think I was like in the 11 something. In the summer, like maybe here in Nevada when it's like 90 degrees, those would work. But what I'm thinking is if I reduce the charge, yeah, you know, I can do another test and reduce the charge a little bit, because again, I don't know if it's in this video, but I loaded those a little bit hotter than you know, what was recommended, because I didn't want to get them stuck in the barrel, which is obviously a good thing. So they were definitely breaking the sound barrier. So they were loud. They weren't as loud as the 69 grains. 69 grain was definitely louder, probably because, you know, you have more powder and stuff in that charge, and so maybe some of that was still coming out. I'm not exactly sure, but it was considerably louder. Sorry, freaking rocky and bumpy. But yeah, so that was interesting. So I'm gonna have to reduce the powder charge a little bit, but maybe not by a ton, just to get them functional in this area, which is cool. I wasn't you know, I mean, obviously I'm not doing a ton of shooting it around freezing, and it looks like obviously the thicker the air, the lower the threshold, so which makes sense. That's probably why people confuse it with, or at least maybe what the point this site was making is why it's confused with altitude, because, you know, the air is theoretically thicker at lower elevation, but if it was hotter, the air would be thinner. So we're all getting the point here, which is really that was pretty fascinating. So I'm not exactly sure if that's the truth. So I'm not a doctor, I'm just going off of what I read on one internet site with one search for calculating feet per second, and all it had me do was enter the temperature, and it said, wah wah, you were definitely over that. So they were breaking the sound barrier, which makes sense. So I'm not completely crazy, because I could definitely hear a snap. So I was like, well, is it supposed to, you know, because it's the thing, you know, movies, and I haven't shot a ton of subsonic, suppressed, or, you know, silenced. So you know, it can be confusing, but it was quiet. I mean, it was not, you know, it would, just the crack of the bullet is all you're getting. So I'm gonna try to load them down, but maybe switch over to Magnum primers, maybe do some research on that, load it down a bit. I just wanna make sure that I'm consistently getting them out of the barrel. But other than that, things ran really good. It was a good day at the range. Didn't have any issues, so that's always super helpful. But yeah, I'll try to reduce the charge a little bit and see if I can get it closer to consistently subsonic. There's P-Vine way over there off on the left, right up there. Oh, shoot, my finger there. We started driving and pointing into the camera, but yeah, so anyway, thanks for joining me. I will keep you updated. Post any questions, and I will try to answer them. Take care.